It's your boy Conservist34. Today we're going to review the July 3rd, 2020 Dave Matthews solo show entitled SiriusXM Live from Home by Request. This was a Friday night special that was pre-recorded, but the big thing about this show was fans in the previous weeks were asked to submit a video picking a song, and they were encouraging you to pick a rare song, right, or a hit that you love, and you make a video introducing yourself and telling Mr. Dave Matthews why this song should be played, what importance it has for you in your current life, or even something you happened in your past. Did you get married to this song? Did this song remind you of something with your father growing up? You know, pick a song, submit this video, and Dave is going to pick and choose some songs. He picked 11 songs. Now, the other thing about this show, there was a lot of rumors about what would be played. There was a fake set list that included songs like Bismarck. It included Come Tomorrow, which I was not thrilled about. But thankfully, that was a fake list. And you know what? When we all listened through, we were surprised to hear certain things, and certain songs we knew were coming. But there were surprises. Whatever that spoiler set list was, it was false. So let's talk about what made this show great. I love hearing Dave Matthews on a rock bridge guitar with nobody else playing. You can hear his percussiveness that is signature to his sound, which over the years, with an added trumpet player, with a louder overall band noise, and with Tim Reynolds' tone being completely changed from how he used to play with the band in 95, in 98, and in the mid-2000s and Dave and Friends, to how he played from 2008 forward. You can't hear Dave's guitar. And the other thing was, prior to Dave switching to rock bridges just over a decade ago, you had other guitars that could cut through the sound, right? You had Taylors, and you even had some Martins, and you had some Gibson Chet Atkins models, and some previous models before that could cut through. Dave intentionally picked guitars that sacrificed a little bit of their overall tone to cut through. Still great guitars, but they had to cut through the loud nature of the band, which kept getting louder and louder. So I loved hearing, I was mesmerized by the guitar playing that Dave exhibited and some of the uniqueness that he did in some of the stuff. So for example, number 41, typically he plays his Dave chords for the beginning. So he plays those. But instead, he decided to mix it up at the beginning and play some open chords. And for the diehard fans like me, for the guitar players like me, it was kind of cool to see the video that they had for the promotional purposes earlier in the week. He's playing the open C, and then this is like a B minor, I believe, and then the E minor, and then the open D. And then he would go back to the regular, and he played the chorus regular. But it was cool to see that, to see some of the different strumming patterns that he mixed up to make this solo thing special. We also had a Cry Freedom promotional video where he's on a Fender Strat. And these two videos I think they were picked just to show what was going on visually. Even though you were going to listen to this on Friday, July 3rd, 2020, earlier in the week, on I think it was Wednesday, you got to see, okay, he's playing a Strat, and okay, he's playing 41, but look at how he's playing it. So they were great videos to show what Dave was doing to mix things up. Now, I love this pig from this show. And this was the first complete full Dave solo pig ever. Now, back in Farm Aid, and this is what I thought about when I looked at the almanac after the show, I was like, wait, Dave definitely played Pig Dave solo, but 9/29/01, this is a little bit after September 11th, Dave went to Deer Creek for Farm Aid to support his homies, Willie Nelson, and also support Farm Aid itself to raise money for farmers. And he did a partial pig, just the verse and the chorus, and then he played into Satellite. So I was like, okay, that's what it was. I looked back at the video, which is on YouTube. You can check it out, where it does show he only did it as a partial. So this was the first full, complete Dave solo pig. It was amazing. All right. We had a Gray Street with the third verse, which was amazing. And I like how the user who requested this said, I want to hear it, and I hope, they did tell Dave they wanted to hear it with the third verse, and Dave delivered. Okay. Loving Wings, just an amazing, beautiful song that was picked. And also, after Loving Wings, to go in the theme of love songs that people really bond to with this band here on out. Shout out to my boy Alan Thompson, aka Nacho, on Twitter. When I heard his voice, I was like so hyped up because that's my boy, and he got selected for here on out. So it was really cool to see someone that I have a relationship with through this Dave Matthews Band community get selected. This song meant a lot to him and his newlywed wife from, they got married recently in the last year. And he shouted out not only Alan, but he said to his wife, Linda, as well. And I think that was cool. They've personalized these messages. Cry freedom. A woman of color, which was nice to see that diversity. We saw the physical video that obviously she was a beautiful black woman. She talked about how the song made her cry. Every time the lyrics of it it gets emotional for her, and how these times that are going on with the current state of the world, it meant so much. So for Dave to respond to that and to also bring some diversity into the people and the fan base that he replied to, I thought that was really cool. Now let's talk about Rarities, because here's the thing. We're going to look at 3 of the rarest songs as far as play frequency. So Sweet has had 11 plays since 2015. It's on the ukulele, and I was been fortunate enough to hear it live in Hartford, Connecticut. I believe that was in 2015. And that was like the 3rd rarest song. And then we have a tie for the rarest song, as far as in the last 5 years, the frequency of playing. Loving Wings has 8 full plays, counting this current show since 2015, and 1 partial. So it just edges out Cry Freedom, which has 8 full plays, counting this past show on July 3rd. 8 total plays since 2015. So those were the 3 rarest songs as far as play frequency. Everything else they pretty much have played. And even these songs, Sweet and Loving Wings and Cry Freedom, they've been played this year, right? They're not songs that are super rare. And that's the thing that I think we can knock for this show. They could have dug a little bit deeper. A Blue Water, complete Blue Water, not a partial, which they've done here and there. Just like they did the first full Dave Solo Pig. Do a full Blue Water, right? What about a song that's never been played before, like a Monkey Man, right? That would have been cool. A Mac Head, which no one even knows what it sounds like, right? Unless you were you're in the production portion of that or the recording part of Before These Crowded Streets. Nothing that's never been even heard or released or played live was dropped, right? Everything had been played in some form. And even just some of the other stuff, the Spoons, the Stones, the Sugar Wills, Angel from Montgomery, right? None of those things were played, which are just cuts that are rare, and they've been played recently, but they would have been amazing to hear. So that's my knock. And then the show was pretty short. To have this pre-recorded, and it's only an hour really, as far as like in runtime with the commentary, it was pretty short. 11 songs, like just to get it to 15 or 16 would have been cool, because again, Dave could have recorded this over a day or 2 and just gotten every song mastered down and played it in a live setting in the studio for us to hear on Friday. So I think those are the 2 things. And then now I'll say this, everyone has their special songs. The Samurai Cop, I get, it was played during this gentleman's birth of his child. I get that. Even the sister, I get it. Like, people have connections to a sister or family. I get that. The You and Me, to me, and no, I understand that the young lady from Florida woman, and the headline is like Florida woman ruins Dave Matthews solo show by requesting You and Me, is what people were frustrated about. I understand, like, this was a song that she learned to play on guitar, and it was something with her father, and yeah, that's cool. But it's you and me. Like, it's you and me. Like, we don't need to hear this song again. Although, as much as I did go to the bathroom during it, it sounds a lot better with just Dave solo. It does. But that was kind of the one. You and Me was the one that's like, come on. Really, this is played like every other show. Okay, just we don't need it. And I know Samurai Cop is too, but Samurai Cop is newer and newer-ish. And again, I understand that people have been born to this. You and Me is the lowest of love songs by the band, in my opinion. When you look at Loving Wings and Here On Out and I'll Back You Up and even Crash Into Me, which is a little more of a creeper song, but I think that You and Me, while I understand people have that emotional connection, to me, it's cheesy, okay? It's cheesy, and it's just not on par with the beautiful, depthful love songs that Dave makes. So you didn't need You and Me. But I think that this was a great presentation of Mr. Dave Matthews. Whether you liked certain stuff, whether you didn't, everyone was represented in some way. Whether you wanted some deep cuts like Cry Freedom, whether you liked like the stuff in the middle, like a Best of What's Around Our Pig, even though that's kind of towards the rare, and then to have a Gray Street with the third verse, have a sweet. There were different things for different people that are part of this fan base. This fan base is diverse as far as why people like Dave Matthews and the Dave Matthews Band, and I thought they did it was a well done job. I thought, again, things could have been a little more Rarity, a little more longer, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was not thinking about what wasn't played. My mind was just enjoying Dave Matthews. And as Andy B said on Twitter, and I've always petitioned for this, we need more Dave Solo. We need more Dave Solo, period. There needs to be a tour. How we can get people to shut up. Hey, this is a great time with social distancing, people wearing masks. Put everyone have a mask on, right? So you can't hear them yelling and screaming as much. The mask suppresses it. And let Dave tour the country and play Dave Solo, because this is the Dave Matthews Band, and I've been frustrated with Tim is amazing. Rashawn is amazing. Jeff is amazing. Everyone's amazing in this band. Buddy's amazing. But I've been frustrated with the fact that you go to a Dave Matthews Band show and you can't hear Dave Matthews' guitar. And I would love for the entire country, including myself, to just experience this, which is typically rare. Typically, maybe one song and that's it in a show. Or if you get to a Dave Solo show, which is incredibly hard to get to and access, I just think the whole country should be able to experience Dave Solo. Here in a music hall or whatever venue you want to do, Dave and Dave only. Because when he plays by himself, his percussiveness, his skill, his technique, his ability to sing something beautifully and then have a guitar be played at the same time in a challenging way it's impressive. And we need more Dave Solo, okay? I love the full band, but they play over Dave too much now. So Dave Solo 2021 spring, all right? Maybe that's too early. Or maybe 2022 in the spring, all right? When things are better. I'd love to see that because we love Dave Matthews. There's a reason it's called the Dave Matthews Band. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to SiriusXM. Shout out to the band's management. Shout out to Dave Matthews and the Dave Matthews Band for allowing us to hear this amazing presentation. It's your boy Conserviz34. Happy 4th of July. Peace.